Hi everybody, it's Melissa back again to do another live stream. I'm here today to give you a little bit of a history lesson. Now, this is my understanding of the events that transpired. So have a seat and have a listen. Okay, so the original message was not a religious message, it was a spiritual one. Now, I know that that's going to fly in the face of every religious person on the planet, but if you're prepared to look for the information, you're going to find it. This is why it says in the Bible that those who seek will find. When you find, you'll be horrified. That's why it says it. That's why certain books were removed from the Bible at that point in time. They were removed. Why are they removed? What are they telling you in those hidden texts that aren't of a religious nature, they're of a spiritual nature? Well, let's talk about where this originated, shall we? So, my husband wants me to point out that from what we can understand, where this started was with the Temple of Hathor. Now, the Temple of Hathor is near the proper Mount Sinai, not the Mount Sinai that's on the maps. Now, if you look into that, you will find it, but you need to look for it. That's where the original Hebrew people were. Okay? The message that they were teaching then was about ascending, about attaining your light body, about attaining your golden robe, so you can come and go when you want. That's what the original teachings were. They were about love, light, compassion, spirituality, just being one with the planet, like a oneness movement. So throughout time, so moving down the line a little bit, now this was about 2000 BC. That's when the Essenes started. So between 2000 BC and 1000 BC, that was the Essenes' time. There was a breakaway group from the Essenes, which was the Nazarenes. The Nazarenes started, my understanding, is about 1000 BC. So Jesus and his movement at the time was part of the Nazarenes movement. Okay? Now, the Nazarenes, they weren't from a place called Nazareth. Nazareth wasn't even marked on a map at that time. So Jesus being from Nazareth, that's not correct, okay? Jesus was part of the Nazarenes movement. So after things went pear-shaped there and the crucifixion takes place, which personally I don't think he died from, I believe he did obtain his light body, and I believe Mary attained her light body at some point as well. So, and it was all part of the teachings that they were teaching at the time. So, the bloodline of Jesus and Mary, a male, has married into the Merovingian Kingship. So, that being a male line, that's DNA trackable. Okay? So the Merovingian Kingship ended at about 751 AD when Charlemagne, in conjunction with the Roman Catholic Church, tried to wipe out the Merovingian line. I wonder why they tried to wipe out the Merovingian line. Let's think about this for a second. If the Catholic Church wanted to wipe that line out, do you think they would take out the descendants of Jesus and Mary Magdalene because it makes their religion come undone? Do you think maybe that's a possibility? Do you think maybe that's why Mary was portrayed as being a prostitute? To try and dismiss or make it look like the fact that a bloodline didn't exist? It sounds very like it to me. So the Merovingians were nearly completely wiped off the map. In fact, as far as the Roman Catholic Church was aware, they were. But they weren't. Male descendants did survive. The Carolingians, who were descendants of Charlemagne, were put in positions or married Merovingian females. So they claim that they are descendants of King David, that it goes back through Jesus and Mary Magdalene, but that's not correct. Royal families that herald they are would have to not have gone through Charlemagne. If they'd gone through Charlemagne, that's females that married Carolingians, which were the descendants of Charlemagne. So, and those royal families, most of them are still in power today. That's how it is. That's the way it has been. So, as I said, they almost succeeded. As I said, but they were not of the kingship line. So in 751 to 800 AD, that was when the Carolingians pretty much made their move. The male line from the Merovingians went underground. They had to. They had to run and hide because they would have been killed. That's how it was. There was no room for error in the Catholic Church's eye. They had to wipe out and get rid of any trace that there was a family, because if Jesus had a family, then he wasn't divine, was he? And don't find God through yourself, through the teachings that Jesus and the Nazarenes and the Essenes before them was being taught at the Temple of Hathor, to find God through yourself, then that kind of dismisses the purpose to find God through us. So, okay, so the male line went underground, and at that time, that male line was passed down through the Knights Templar. So it is kind of hidden in plain sight. When you look for things in relation to the Knights Templar and the kingship line being passed down through them, I mean, it's, when I say hidden in plain sight, if you walk through London Court in Perth and you walk under the main entrance and you turn around and you look up at the stained glass windows, it says it right there. You can see that the kingship passed through the Knights Templar, and it's in there, stained glass windows for everyone to see. So, when they resurfaced again, they resurfaced as the Cathars. Now, throughout history, you would have known that the Roman Catholic Church tried again to wipe them out. Now, Roman Catholic Church were in conjunction with then the Tectonic Knights. The Tectonic Knights became the Swiss Guard. Who protects the Pope these days? Do you think maybe it might be the Swiss Guard? Coincidence? Nothing's a coincidence, let's face it. So they tried again to wipe the Cathars out. Obviously, they haven't succeeded because my husband and I are still kicking. And the original message they were trying to get out to the public, that it is not a religious message, it's a spiritual one. After the Cathars had their time, were nearly wiped off the face of the map, the Rosicrucians popped up in about 1700. The Rosicrucians are still kicking about today. You can still find people that are still teaching that same message. And the same message is one of spirituality, of oneness, of being one with the planet, the people that live next door, in your area, in the world, everything. We are all part of everything. And that teaching that you are part of God, I mean, it says it plainly in the Gospel of Thomas, that I am God, you are God, and we all are God. Once you turn inwards and you realize that, you will realize your potential. So obviously the Catholic Church and not just the Catholic Church, I mean any religion today has corrupted it. It's been corrupted quite horrendously, let's face it. So they're not going to be happy with knowing the original message was a spiritual one. They're not going to be happy with me saying that the original message was a spiritual one. But you know what? It doesn't matter. The fact of the matter is that if you're watching this video and you're talking about it, you're telling people that you're watching this video and maybe you should watch that. Have a look into it. Find the information for yourself. It is out there. Okay? What I do want to do is have a big shout out to all those light workers. I want you to listen to what I've got to say because this impacts you directly. What my husband and I are trying to do is something that hasn't been done at this point in time in our current history. So we're trying to wake up those lost sheep. All those people that have blindly accepted the word of the world's most corrupted book, they are the lost sheep. You, as light workers, you're the beacons. The spiritual workers, you're the ones that are going to show and lead the way for these lost sheep to see the light, to turn within and realize that they are part of the God particle, that we all have it. We all have it within us. So light your beacons, light them nice and brightly, because once our story is out and it is very public, there's going to be billions of lost sheep. And we need everyone to stand together and have a global movement, one of peace, love, compassion, kindness. We all have it in us. Let's all do what was originally intended. Help up your fellow man when they're in trouble. I mean, Australia's burning. We are on fire over here. It is horrible. We need everyone to band together. It doesn't matter if you're black, white, brindle, yellow with purple polka dots. We are all human and we are all on this planet at this period in time. Let's all stand together. Point out people that are light workers to those that are seeking a change, that want to know more, that want to turn within. Let the people see the way. Show them. If you're watching this video, you need to share it. I'd like you to share this, share it to Facebook, share it with your mother, your brother, your sister, your cousin. Let's make this go global and let's force a disclosure. Disclosure needs to happen. My husband and I are planning a radio interview and we won't tell you when at the moment, when that will be on until it's 100% confirmed. But when that does, it will be a global audience. So, okay, that's enough for me today. Thank you for joining me. Please share this video and help us get our message out, and we will be back soon. Bye-bye.